I'm Angie, Alfonso, and I want to get baptized. Okay, so when I was younger, my mom she married a guy who was our stepdad, and I was about 7 and my sister was 8, and so before they took us to the church, they would go, and then once they decided that they liked it, they took us with them, and so then we would stay with them in the adult ministry part, and so I started to like it a lot, and my sister did too, and we would get into it, and then I was 10 or 11, and I decided to accept Christ as my savior, and so then I did, and it was really good. And so then about 12, we got introduced to the youth group, and so it was more relatable to us. And so then from there, me and my sister we got both stronger with God and with each other. We would talk way more about it in a relatable way to youth. And so then after that, I was fully with God, and it was just every day He was there with me, and I knew even bad days, good days, He was there. So then from there, my mom and stepdad in Miami, there wasn't any more work, so we had to move here to Dodge because of the meat packing plants. And so then after that, we found a house here, and they started working there. And then about 3 years later, we find out that our stepdad wasn't being such a good dad to my sister and all that stuff. So then that was when it was everything came down on everyone, and my mom was depressed, my sister was just angry at God, and her faith was completely gone. And so then that's left me kind of in an area of being where were you, God, when all this was happening? And so then that was when it was my faith was down too, and I wanted to really stop believing in God, because I was you can't be there if you let all this happen to us. And now my mom's depressed and my sister's just rebellious and angry at everyone, and so I was kind of angry at God too. It affected me greatly with my relationship in God, and whereas I was straying away from Him, and I just wanted to stop believing in Him, because I was you can't be there when you're letting all of this happen. And so I was just very angry with Him, and I stopped praying. I wasn't so into the Bible how I really wanted to be. And so then for the longest time, I was just I don't care. And it was I would just get mad at things about God, and I didn't want to hear about it. And then we met a friend that introduced us to the Methodist church, and we would go there to the youth group. And we started going there, and so through there I started kind of getting back a little bit, not fully, but a little bit. And they would pray, and I'd be okay. And they'd read their Bible and their little chapters that they wanted us to teach us lessons and stuff, and I'd take it somewhat, but not fully. But then it got to a point where I was I can't do this anymore, because I know You're there, and I just started seeing how He was really good, and the blessings that would come out of the bad stuff I thought was there. And so then from there on, I decided that I was gonna try and get back on board with God. So I met Sheila Urban, and then I started working for her in her farm and helping her around with the horses and stuff, and so got pretty close with her, and that was cool. And I know, and she would talk about God sometimes, or say, oh, I got church board meeting today and stuff, and to me at first I was oh, okay, you go. And then she invited me, and I was it was really cool for me, because I was I haven't been to a Sunday church in a while, so it was I don't know how I'll be with it. And so when we got here, I was just it felt not new, but my life was when I was younger, and church, and everybody, and you just felt the love of people, and how they really liked God and stuff. And then what I really liked was how you guys sing songs that I know, and so I can connect to them. So I really like that. I'm getting baptized today because I fully believe now that I am God's kid or girl, and I fully believe in Him, knowing that He is my Savior, and that He will always be there for me, and I will be there for Him forever.
Cool. Way to go.